This happened when I was 12 years old, on April 14th. To this day, just thinking about it sends a shiver down my spine. My mom, my sister, her friend, and I had just arrived at the local country club. I was there to practice some squash drills. We walked into the bar area to pay for the court rentals. The place was mostly empty, except for one lady sitting on a bar stool with a young boy. He looked about 4 or 5 years old. The woman herself looked to be in her late 20s. As we entered, she turned her attention to our dog. She didn't just pet him. She looked like she was almost squeezing his neck. It was aggressive, uncomfortable. Then, she looked up at my mom and said a flat, "Hello." And then, she locked eyes with me. She looked me dead in the eye. She stood up, walked towards me, and held out her hand. I was a polite kid, so I took her hand to shake it. But she didn't shake back. She didn't move. She just gripped my hand tightly and wouldn't let go. She started muttering something, asking me questions. But her voice was so quiet, almost a whisper. I couldn't understand a single sentence. The only word I could clearly make out was medical. It felt like time had stopped. All the background noise disappeared, and the only thing I could hear was her quiet, frantic muttering. Eventually, she let go. I told my mom I was going ahead to the squash courts, trying to get away from her. But as I walked out of the doorway, I felt a heavy gaze burning into my back. I turned around, and there she was, watching me from inside the dark bar area. I was terrified. I didn't feel safe enough to walk to the courts alone, so I ran back to my mom and waited for her to finish paying. Fast forward a bit. I finished playing squash with my friend. My friend went to the court next door to pack up her gear. I was waiting by the stands, and suddenly, I saw the lady again. She was standing by the side of the stands, just watching my friend pack her bag. She muttered something again, but neither of us could hear what it was. As soon as my mom appeared, the lady vanished. She just left the court and disappeared into the club. We walked my friend to her parents, and then we left immediately. The strangest part is, I can't get a clear picture of her face in my head. Even though she stared right into my soul, her features are blurry in my memory. Trying to remember them gives me a sharp pain in my head. We never saw her again, but I still wonder, what would she have done if I had left my friend all by herself? About 4 years ago, I was finishing my freshman year of college. I lived in the dorms, and for the most part, it was a great experience. But towards the end of the semester, the atmosphere in my hall changed. Walking into the dorms gave everyone a massive feeling of dread. We all wrote it off as stress from finals, but it felt wrong. One night, after a long study session, I decided to take a shower so I could wake up fresh for class. I need to explain the layout. Our dorm hall felt like a prison block. Massive steel doors, long, cold corridors. The bathroom was just as bad. When you walked in, you were met with 2 sets of sinks with massive mirrors facing each other. This created an infinite loop effect in the reflection. From the sinks, if the stall doors were open, you could see the reflection of the showers deep in the mirror. So, I'm alone in the bathroom. It's late. I'm coming down off a massive kick of caffeine and Adderall from studying. I set my clothes down and happen to look up into the mirror. In the distance, deep in the infinite reflection, I saw something shimmering inside one of the shower stalls. I stared at it. It was moving closer. It looked like it was jumping from the furthest reflection layer to the next, getting larger with every jump. I was unsettled, but I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. But then, it started moving faster. As it got closer, I realized it wasn't a glitch in my vision. It was a dark mass. At first, it looked like it was covered in hair, but as it reached the fourth reflection layer, I got a clear look at it. I regret every second of it. It wasn't hair. It was a long, flowing veil. From the torso down, it was just solid, black darkness. But the face, it was clearly human, yet so far removed from humanity. It had eyes, black, but somehow glowing. It saw me. I only saw it for a second, but that image is burned into my mind forever. Suddenly, the lights cut out. Total darkness. I heard the heavy steel door slam shut. I tried to run to the door, but it wouldn't budge. Then, an intense, metallic smell of blood hit me out of nowhere. That is the last thing I remember. I woke up later in the hospital. My RA had found me in the shower stall, covered in blood from a massive nosebleed. He said I was freaking out, screaming, "It saw me," over and over. The doctors ran CAT scans and tests. They concluded I must have had a seizure, even though I have no history of epilepsy and had never reacted to caffeine or Adderall like that before. To this day, I cannot look into a mirror for more than a minute. Being in a room with a mirror alone causes me to break down. There were no reports of activity in those dorms before that night, and none since. It was just that one isolated, terrifying incident. This is a true story. From when I was about 4 or 5 years old, my parents had just separated. I was living with my mom in a first-floor apartment. It was the middle of summer, hot and humid. My mom had the window in her bedroom open to let in a breeze. The window was directly above the headboard of her bed. I had my own room, but I preferred sleeping in her bed. Our rooms were directly across from each other, at the end of a hallway. One night, I woke up suddenly. I sat up and saw our cat sitting in the doorframe of my mom's room. This was strange. The cat usually slept in the bed with us. He was staring intensely into my bedroom across the hall. Then, he walked into my dark room and meowed. I turned to wake my mom up. It took maybe 3 or 4 seconds for her to wake up and ask me what was wrong. In that short moment, we both looked up at the doorway. There was a man standing there. He was coming out of my bedroom. I don't know how she did it so fast, but purely on adrenaline. My mother picked me up and literally threw me out of the open window behind the bed. Since we were on the first floor, it was only a 3-foot drop to the grass. She jumped out right after me. We started screaming for help, and a neighbor called 911. The police arrived quickly. They didn't find any signs of forced entry. Our front door was unlocked, so they assumed the man had escaped that way. But my mom swore she had locked the deadbolt and the chain that night. About a week later, my mom was cleaning the kitchen. She opened the small utility closet that housed our water heater. Inside, she found a makeshift bed. There was a notebook full of strange names and drawings, a pair of dirty gloves, and piles of gum wrappers. The police came back, but all they could do was speculate. They told us that the man had likely been in our house for days, hiding in the closet, coming out only when we were asleep.